Hello, class of 2026. It's Mrs. Hoffman here, and today I'm going to walk you through the scheduling process to select your senior and final year classes here at Dixie Heights. I encourage you all to be very thoughtful in this process and to take advantage of the opportunities that you have as seniors, especially dual credit classes and Pathway to Careers. Continue to challenge yourselves. And remember, this is your last opportunity to take that class you've always wanted to take, but just couldn't fit it into your schedule. Now, I'm going to be going over lots of different information. I know you've heard this 3 years in a row now, but with the change to semesters, there are some changes in how you're going to select your classes. So it's important that you pay attention so you do this correctly. Now, if you still have questions after this presentation, just ask your teachers or stop into the counseling office to see myself, Mr. Ogles, or Mrs. Miller. All right, class of 2026, let's get started. The first thing I want to go over is the scheduling timeline. Today in Pride, you are watching the scheduling informational video as well as receiving all of the scheduling materials you'll need in order to complete your course selections for next year. You'll then take the next 2 weeks to think about the classes you want and to discuss your classes with your teachers, parents, guardians, and counselors. On Wednesday, March 5th, we will have a parent scheduling information night at Dixie. This will start at 6 p.m. and is a time for your parents to come and get all of the scheduling information. If you are interested in taking dual credit classes next year, you'll need to have the completed dual credit application in to Mrs. Rowan by Friday, March 7th. Perhaps the most important date on this list is Monday, March 10th. This is the last day for you to turn in your completed course selection sheet. You can turn it in to your Pride teacher or drop it off in the counseling office. If you miss this deadline and you're late turning in your completed sheet, you're less likely to get your first choice classes. Just like in past years, all of the information you need to complete the process can be found on the Dixie Heights website. Once you're on the home page, you'll want to select Resources on the top right and then click Counseling Services from the drop-down menu. This will take you to the counseling website. To access the scheduling materials, you will want to select Scheduling Materials from the left side. If you happen to misplace your course registration sheet, this is where you'll go to print off another copy. Perhaps the most helpful thing on the website is the Dixie Heights Course Guide. Information on the grading scale, AP and dual credit courses, graduation requirements, transition readiness, NCAA eligibility, career pathways, and a description of each course offered at Dixie can be found in the course guide. I next want to hit on the district's transition readiness standards. It's our goal that all of you graduate as college and career ready in 4 years. Now, I know you've all heard a lot about this, but the fact is that if you display the skills of transition readiness in high school, you are more likely to be prepared for what you do after high school, whether it be attending a 4-year college, a trade school, enlisting in the military, or joining the workforce. There are several different ways to meet the standards. On the left side are the academic indicators. These include getting a grade of A, B, or C in a dual credit English or math class, earning a score of 3 or higher on an AP test, or earning an A, B, or C in an AP course or Algebra 2. You can also meet college readiness by meeting the benchmark scores on the ACT or Coyote tests. On the right side are the career readiness indicators, which include earning industry certifications, earning an A, B, or C in a career pathway dual credit course, completing a work-based learning internship, passing the ASVAB, and enlisting in the military. Career readiness can also be achieved by meeting 2 of the indicators listed here on the bottom right. As I just mentioned, career readiness can be met by completing a pathway. We offer 8 different pathways at Dixie Heights High School: administrative support, computer programming, digital design and game development, e-commerce, engineering design, hospitality, travel, tourism, and recreation, management and entrepreneurship, and we also offer a non-pathway certification in veterinary science. Some of you have already completed a pathway and others are still working on it. In the registration paperwork you will be given by your PRIDE teacher, the course sequences for the pathways offered here at Dixie Heights are included. If you are working on a pathway, please be sure you complete any course requirements you still have. Once you earn 2 credits in a pathway, you will be able to take the certification test for your pathway, and if you pass the end of program test, you will achieve career readiness. The coolest thing about pathways is that it gives you a glimpse of what a career in a certain pathway may look like. If you have any questions regarding your career pathways, please see Mrs. Rowan. In addition to the career pathways offered here at Dixie, we have also partnered with other local institutions to offer even more career pathway opportunities. Many of these programs are 2-year programs that you must start your junior year, but if there is room, you may be able to take classes in the automotive engineering and building maintenance programs senior year. The line worker program is also a senior-only program offered through Gateway. This is a 1-semester program offered in the evening 4 nights a week and leads to line worker certification. One of the handouts you received today includes the career pathway course sequences. This lists the 8 career pathways we offer here at Dixie Heights, as well as the classes you must take in order to complete those pathways. If you're already in a pathway, be sure that you are selecting the classes that you need in order to complete the pathway. Dual credit classes are another great opportunity you have here at Dixie Heights. Many of you have already taken advantage of dual credit opportunities, but for those of you who haven't, I strongly encourage you to consider applying for dual credit classes your senior year. Dual credit courses are college-level courses that students may take while still in high school. You can take dual credit classes at Dixie Heights, online, or on a college campus. These courses are offered at a greatly reduced price and will count for both high school and college credit. The price for a 3 credit hour dual credit class is $295, which is about 1/3 of what it will cost a typical college student. It is the same price whether you take the course on Dixie's campus, on a college campus, or online. There are also scholarships available to all students who take dual credit classes. All dual credit classes are on the weighted GPA scale, meaning an A will be awarded 5 quality points, or a 5.0. The colleges and universities have specific requirements that students must meet, and there is an application process that you must complete in order to take dual credit courses. You must be accepted into a dual credit program at a college or university in order to take the classes. If accepted, students must also adhere to the rules and regulations of the university's dual credit program. You can get a dual credit application from Ms. Rowan's room, from the counseling office, or you can print one off from the counseling website. Another opportunity I want to talk to you about that is available for 11th and 12th graders only is Pathway to Careers, also known as School to Work. I want to hit on a few things about Pathway to Careers. Perhaps the most important thing is that you must have a job to be in Pathway to Careers. Secondly, you must complete and turn in the Pathway to Careers packet. You cannot start the class until the packet is turned in and the employer background check is cleared. You can pick up a packet from Ms. Albrink or in the counseling office. As a senior, you can take 1 or 2 bells of Pathway to Careers for 1 or 2 semesters. For every bell you take, you must work 150 hours. Lastly, you must fulfill the requirements of the class to pass and stay in the class. This includes turning in pay stubs to show the hours you worked, as well as completing all other required paperwork. Before we get into the updated graduation requirements, I want to quickly go over graduation recognitions. Students who have a weighted GPA of 4.2 or higher and have completed 5 AP or dual credit courses in 4 of the 6 academic areas will earn summa cum laude honors. Students with a weighted GPA of 3.8 or higher that have completed 2 AP or dual credit classes will be recognized as magna cum laude. Cum laude recognitions are awarded to students who have earned a cumulative GPA of 3.5 or higher. Students who have earned any of these will be recognized at graduation. Remember, GPA is not rounded up for honors or recognitions. With the move to semesters, there are a few things I want to explain before we look at your course selection sheets. Instead of 3 terms, we will operate on a 2-semester schedule next year. Instead of having 5 classes, you will have 6 classes each day. 1-credit classes will be full year classes. This means that you will have the same teacher during the same bell for the entire school year for full year classes. For example, let's say you have Mr. Gillis for English 4 during second bell. You will stay with Mr. Gillis for English 4 during second bell for the entire school year. By moving to semesters, there will be no more switching teachers for the same class when the trimester ends. Credit for full year classes will be awarded at the end of the school year. Your final grade for a full year class will be determined by adding your semester 1 grade to your semester 2 grade and dividing by 2. If you have a 60% or higher, you will earn credit for that class. If your grade is below a 60%, you will not earn any credit for that class. For semester classes, credit will be awarded at the end of the semester in which you complete the class. This is what the daily schedule will be next year. As I just mentioned, you will have 6 classes instead of 5. The total minutes spent in each class every day is a bit less on the 6-bell schedule. Another change you will see is that lunch will be eaten during 4th bell instead of 3rd bell. There's just one more thing I want to go over before we get into how you are actually going to select your courses for next year, and that is the updated graduation requirements. Due to moving to semesters, the total number of elective credits and total credits needed to graduate has changed. Instead of 28 credits, the class of 2026 will need 26.5 credits to graduate. Included in these 26.5 credits are credit requirements that must be met by taking and earning credit in specific classes. Students must complete 4 credits in English. This must include English 1, 2, 3, and 4, or the equivalent AP or dual credit English course. All students must complete 4 credits of math. These credits must include Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, plus an additional math class. 3 credits of science are required for graduation. Students need to complete Integrated Science, Biology, and Integrated Science 2, or the equivalent science class. Students need 3 social studies credits. This includes Integrated Social Studies, World Civilization, and U.S. History, or the equivalent AP courses. All students need to earn a half credit in both health and physical education. Students must also earn 1 credit in arts and humanities courses. This includes any 2 band, choir, art, or drama classes. The final mandatory graduation requirement is a credit of business or career tech education classes. Included in this required credit is 1/2 credit of Business and Marketing Essentials A. An additional 9.5 credits of student choice electives will complete the 26.5 credits needed for graduation. Please remember that all students are required to take a math and English class every year of high school. So even if you've earned 4 credits in either subject, you must still take a math and English class each year. We're about to get into how you're going to select your classes for next year. It's important that you really think about the classes you want to take because we want you to take things that are interesting to you. It is also important to put thought into your selections because we are going to tighten up even more with our schedule change policy next year. Once your schedule is created in Infinite Campus, you must have one of the following reasons in order to get your schedule changed. You're missing a graduation requirement. You are not scheduled into a class during one of your 6 bells. You are scheduled into a class you already received credit for, or we made a scheduling error. Schedule changes will only be made if one of the things I just listed applies. Changes will not be made because you want a specific teacher, you want to be in a class with a friend, you want a specific lunch, you want a class during a specific bell or time of day, or you've lost interest in a class that you selected during this process. Now it's time to start looking at some of the papers you got from your PRIDE teacher. You should have all received a copy of your transcript. Remember, second trimester just ended on Friday, so your second trimester grades are not included. When you look at your transcript, the course name is in the middle of the column. The number listed under credits are the credits that you earned in that class. Remember, you don't just have to take a class, you also have to pass it in order to earn the credit. On the bottom is the total number of credits you have earned. To be on track, you should have at least 15.5 credits here. Remember, your trimester 2 classes are not included. This slide is a copy of a credit check sheet. You want to complete the credit checklist using your transcript. For every class you have passed, you want to mark it off on your checklist. If you took a course but failed it, do not mark it off. This will help you see the classes you still need to register for. All right, we're finally at the part where we are going to go through how you are going to request your courses for next year. As I mentioned before, things look a bit different this time due to transitioning to semesters next year. Senior registration cards are blue, and this is what they look like, which is different than past years. There are no more bubbles to fill in or half-credit classes to count. On the top left, you will see your name and test scores. If there isn't a score, that means we do not have any scores on file for you. Over here, you'll see a line for a parent or guardian signature. Getting your parent or guardian to sign your completed registration card is required to complete the registration process. This section right here is where you are going to write in the classes you want to take next year. There is a space for you to write your English, math, science, and social studies choices. If you have met the requirements for science and social studies, you will use these boxes to write in more elective choices. For full year classes, you want to write the same class in semester 1 and semester 2. For example, if you are taking AP Lit next year, you will write AP Lit under both semester 1 and semester 2 where it says English on your selection sheet. This section right here lists all of the classes that are available to you as a 12th grader. Be sure to turn the sheet over because there are more classes on the back. The number that is listed under credit is the number of credits a class is worth. If there is a 1 listed, it is a full year class, and you need to write the class in both semester 1 and semester 2. If it is listed as 0.5 or a half credit, that class is only 1 semester long, and you only need to write it in either semester 1 or semester 2. Writing it in a particular semester does not mean that is when it will be scheduled. If you see an asterisk in the prerequisite box, that means that that particular class has a prerequisite class that you need to have taken and earned credit for in order to take the class you want to register for. Remember, the prereq information can be found in the course guide. Another thing to pay attention to is that if there are any notes written next to a class. For example, next to AP Lit, it says requires English teacher's initials. This means that in order to register for AP Lit, your current English teacher will need to sign off on your card. They will do this by putting their initials in the box right here. For full year classes, teachers only need to initial 1 of the semesters. Lastly, in the section titled Alternate Classes, all students must list 3 classes that they would like to take in the event that your first choice class is not available. The back of your course selection sheet lists more classes that you can take as a senior. There is also a box for you to circle any core classes you did not earn credit for during 9th, 10th, or 11th grades. This is what a completed course selection sheet should look like. This section has classes listed in each of the 6 spots under semester 1 and semester 2. Full year classes are listed in both semesters, and teachers have initialed any class that requires teacher approval. Lastly, 3 alternate choices have been written in. Once your course selection sheet looks like this and your parent or guardian has signed it, you should turn it in to your PRIDE teacher. All right, as we wrap up the scheduling presentation, there are just a few things that I want to remind everyone of. First off, All students must register for an English and math class every year, despite the number of credits you have in those particular subject areas. All students must register for the equivalent of 6 full-year classes, and all students must also choose 3 alternate classes. Remember, your completed course selection sheet is due to your PRIDE teacher on Monday, March 10th. If you don't turn in a sheet or you turn in an incomplete one, your counselor will choose the classes for you and you won't be able to make any changes. All right, class of 2026, that wraps up our registration presentation for today. If you have any questions, please reach out to your teachers or stop in to see myself, Mr. Ogles, or Mrs. Miller in the counseling office. Have a great day, Colonels.